The Last of Us is a game series that is, well, one of the best, in my opinion. Um, there's two games in the series and hopefully a third one on the way. There was a multiplayer game that was on the way, but that was canceled. But it's about a zombie apocalypse that is fairly realistic, actually, that could happen. And I feel like it was a nod off to saying, hey, you guys need to fix global warming or we're screwed, which I believe is right. But season two of the TV show just finished 2 days ago, and I watched it, and here's my honest review on it. Now, I didn't do this for season one, but I will be doing a full review once season three is out. This is my opinion, so you can have a different opinion, and I'm totally fine with that. Just don't hate on me for how I felt about this show, all right? I know everybody has a different opinion on this. I've seen way too many different opinions. So I'm just going to be talking about season two specifically. So I played the game first, like the game before season one was even out. Both of the games, actually. And it's great. The one thing I didn't like about season one was that spores were never included. And for the second game, that has a really important part to the story. I mean, for starters, that's how one of the characters, Dina, finds out that one of the main characters, Ellie, is immune to the infection. But that's also one of the bigger scenes with one of, spoiler warning, Joel's murderers, Nora. That's a huge scene with that. And with the second game, which we'll probably see in season three, with the Rat King, that takes place in spores. So the fact that it did introduce that in season one was a little weird, but they did introduce it in season three finally, but Ellie didn't know anything about it. So that was weird. My least favorite thing about this wasn't the choices for actors and actresses. It was the acting itself. The acting was phenomenal. I will say that. But the way that they portrayed Ellie in the game, I'm going to be going back and forth between the game because that's what I base this off of, and that's what a lot of people are going to base this off of. But in the game, Ellie is more serious in part two, and there's a real reason to it. One, she grew up, and two, she just lost the father figure to her. So it's kind of sad. But in the show, she still seems like a little kid, goofing more than being serious. There's one scene where she left the hospital after Joel's death where you saw a little bit of seriousness, and I honestly thought we were going to see more serious Ellie. But no, she just continued to be a goof. I didn't like that as much, you know? Another thing I really disliked was the reason they went to Seattle. In the game, it was because Tommy left and Maria begged them to go after him. However, in this, they just left on their own. Tommy and Jesse had to go with them. And same thing with Jesse. I loved Jesse in the game, but I hated his character in the show because of how big of a douchebag he kind of was. It's justifiable, but still, they're making us hate characters that we love. Another character I loved in the game but hated in the story in the show was Manny. In the show, there was only 5 people that went to Seattle of the Wolf Crew. In the show, they cut out 2 more people because Jordan and Leah are missing. And they had somewhat of a pivotal part in the game. Jordan was the one that got the scar and beat up Ellie, and Leah was just a crybaby that we didn't really get to know. But in the show, it was Manny who got the scar, and Manny was the douchebag. However, in the game, Manny is the guy that, besides the one thing, spitting on Joel, which I hated that, absolutely. Besides that, I loved Manny as a character. I found him funny. I found him great. When he died by Tommy, I was sad. I actually got sad that he died by Tommy. But I'm going to be happy that he dies in the show now because he's a douchebag. He takes the role of Jordan now. And I hate that. Now, if you guys did watch the show and you know about everything that's going on with actors and stuff like that, I want to be frank with you guys. I enjoyed the cast. The cast was phenomenal. Yes, there were better options out there, but that doesn't give you a reason to verbally abuse people and cyberbully actors and voice actors over a role that they did phenomenally. It's not their fault. They're doing this so they can have a paycheck, so they can feed themselves, feed their families, so on and so forth. The people you really should be blaming is the writers. But still, I feel so bad for Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey because they get so much hate for no reason at all. Pedro Pascal is one of the nicest guys on the planet, and people are treating him like crap because of this one role, which I believe he was a perfect actor for this. Bella Ramsey, yes, there were a few better options out there, but I think they did a decent job. The only reason so many people hate her as Ellie is because what the writers did to her character. So don't blame the actors. They're just doing a job that they were told to do. But all in all, this season 2, the actors was what kept me hooked, but I was just waiting for it to end. So just because of the actors, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Season 1 was way better. The story was way better, and yeah, but season 2 didn't hook me as much as the game did. I feel like it's a complete flip-flop where I loved the second game more than I loved the first game. However, with the show, I loved the first season more than I did the second season. Did you guys watch The Last of Us season 1 or 2? I'd love to know your ideas of this, and I'd love to hear your own rankings of this in the comments. Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, share, post notification on if you guys enjoyed. Again, this was my own opinion. I will be having a full series ranking when season 3 is out in 2 years. Anyways, peace out.